on state government to domesticate the Disability Commission. The country director, Ene Obi, made this call at an event in Abuja. He applauded the federal government for making efforts to bring to an end the years of exclusion of persons with disabilities through the establishment of the commission. The country director emphasized the need to ensure that at least 5% of all public appointments goes to persons with disabilities, as backed up by the law establishing the commission. He urged the government at all levels to honor this provision of the law. The Inclusive Friends Association has launched a sign language interpreter manual to aid improved participation and accessibility for persons with disabilities in the electoral processes. The executive director of the organization, Ms. Grace Jerry, stated that the Sign Language Interpreters Manual was developed by Inclusive Friends Association in collaboration with the Nigerian National Association of the Deaf and the Association of Sign Language Interpreters of Nigeria. The document is to guide INEC and other public and private institutions on the use of sign language interpreters for effective communication to voters with hearing impairment before, during, and after election. While unveiling the document, National Commissioner INEC Mrs. Amina B. Zakari said going by the ratification of Nigeria to the International Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities and the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Governance, INEC is working to facilitate access and inclusion of persons with disabilities in the electoral process in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the national president of the Nigerian National Association of the Deaf, Dabo Suleiman Saka, applauded the collaboration between INEC and IFA in the efforts towards the inclusion in the electoral processes and call on other sectors of the federation to emulate the partnership between INEC and IFA in mainstreaming inclusion. The National Human Rights Commission in Nigeria says it has created an automated compliance reporting platform to enable members of the public report any form of human rights violation from any part of the country. Executive Secretary of the NHRC, Mr. Tony Ojukwu, at the unveiling of the automated compliance reporting database in Nigeria, in Abuja, I beg your pardon, Nigeria's capital, noted that it came into being following a robust partnership between the Commission and Clean Foundation. According to a statement by the Assistant Director Public Affairs of the Commission, Fatima Agwai Mohammed, the automated compliance reporting database is a digital platform that provides citizens with opportunities to promptly report all forms of human rights violation involving civilians, security personnel, and others. Mr. Ojukwu called on members of the public to leverage on the innovation to report any form of human rights violation in the country, and that's the news. Mm.
You can come to me.
You are coming in. You are coming in.
No. Go ahead. Introduce it and take phone calls.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. That was the news update brought to you by Tope Ujeme. Thank you so much. Well, if you're just joining us, it's still Disability Inclusion coming to you live from the network service of Radio Nigeria. And my name is still Jennifer Ogo. And today, for the second time in a row, we are talking about creating an inclusive and enabling working environment now for persons with disabilities. And of course, we would like you to call this number 0807 622 6771, 0807 622 6771, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 0703 1103 773 or 0701 977 33 3352. Let us know how we can encourage persons with disabilities now in the working environment. What do you think are some of the challenges that they face even in the working environment? You can cite examples, you can give your experience, and let us educate the public on the role they need to play in helping or in facilitating some of the plans the government and, of course, the general public have for persons with disabilities. Share your experience with us. What do you think of inclusiveness now in the working environment? What's your understanding of inclusiveness in the working environment? Kindly call 0807 622 6771 or send a WhatsApp message to 0703 110 3773 or 0701 977 3352. If you're watching us online, do note that you can send your message, and of course, right there on our comment section. We are streaming live on Facebook, we are streaming live on Instagram, and of course, we are on Twitter. Our Facebook page is at www.facebook.com/albino foundation, and we are talking about creating an inclusive and an enabling working environment for persons with disabilities. What are the benefits of creating an inclusive working environment now for persons with disabilities? Do you think we'll actually have a better working environment? Do you think there'll be better productivity in terms of human resources and, of course, generally other sectors of the nation? Do you think our nation will be better improved if we do not segregate persons with disabilities from other people in the society, if we actually encourage oneness, if we actually encourage equal opportunity, and of course, equitable opportunity if they are being given to persons with disabilities? Do you think our nation can become better? Do you think we can foster a better working environment? Kindly call 0807622 6771 or send a WhatsApp message to 0703 110 3773 or 0701 977 3352. Keep sending your messages, and of course, keep trying to call us while we go on a short break. Stay with us. Disability inclusion campaign and vision an inclusive society. I didn't prepare for this, so I didn't prepare for this now. I didn't prepare for this, so no guess. What will I be saying? I don't know what to say. Oh,
I suggest more than one guess. They say I don't know.
I can't. I don't have anything to say. All right, if you're just joining us, the program is still Disability Inclusion, coming to you live from the Network Service of Radio Nigeria. Well, I guess on this edition of Disability Inclusion, I'm going solo. Unfortunately, our guest was unable to make it, but of course, the floor is open for you now to actually call in and participate. In case you're watching us on Facebook, kindly send your comments in and we'll read it out loud right here in the studio. And of course, if you are unable to get through to us via phone call, you can send a WhatsApp message to 0703 110 3773 or 0701 977 3352. And let's get to hear from you as we discuss this topic, creating an inclusive and enabling working environment now for persons with disabilities. And of course, we actually treated that topic, this same topic last week, except for the fact that we cited an example from a public organization. And of course, we stated the Disability Act, and we had a guest to talk about the penalty if we actually discriminate persons with disability from every member of the society. Just know that there is actually a penalty behind that. And just know that you can actually participate by calling 0807 6226771. Well, we actually have Jake Pele. He's actually standing by now to have the discussion with us. Luckily for us, I guess. Good evening, sir.
Evening.
Yes. Well, in case you don't know, he's actually the founder and CEO of the Albino Foundation. So we'd like to hear from you. Share your experience with us. What's your understanding of an inclusive working environment?
Inclusive working environment is a working environment, as the name implies, that everyone is included,
Mm,
everyone is given the free space to operate, everyone is void of discrimination of any type,
mm.
and so it's a healthy, open working environment that gives everybody a sense of belonging. Jennifer, let me quickly tell a story of what happened to me when it comes to not having an inclusive workspace.
Okay.
I remember the very first time I went for an interview. I actually was told that I scored the best. Only for me to get there, the owner of the business looked at me and said, "I didn't know you have albinism, so you won't get this job. I don't
Mm,
want to employ an albino."
mm.
That was the last, a person with albinism. That was the last time I ever
This
applied
was how
for.
many years ago?
Oh,
No, I really want to know because the Disability Act, it
that's
has been
about
signed into law. So,
42 years ago.
oh, that's quite a long time. All right.
Yeah. So that was the last time I ever, applied to get a job and all that. And of course, an inclusive workspace is a workspace that has have also accessibility.
Mm,
How accessible is the workspace for anybody that needs any assistance?
mm.
That person will be able to be given that assistance, and that person will work and be productive.
All right. Now, how can we change the cultural perception now? That kind of like fight against persons with disability and their contribution now to the society. How can we change some of all these stereotypes, cultural stereotypes that affect persons with disabilities?
Number one is advocacy, 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 advocacy. Number two is also to sometimes get people that have one way or the other taking advantage of persons with disability, you know, get them prosecuted where necessary. But also, it's also important to educate and reorient the mindset of persons with disability themselves so that they know. Because sometimes you can be so taken advantage of that you don't even know that
Mm,
your rights have been violated.
mm,
So there's a need to educate the public and also educate the community of persons with disability. Of course, ultimately, educate the workforce, those who are employers of labor, those who have been employed, because sometimes it's not even the person who employed that discriminate in the workplace. It is the people who have been employed, your co-workers,
mm.
yeah, and the rest of them.
For a case where a person with disability now was deprived of a position now in his or her working environment,
Mhm.
how do you think the Disability Act now can be achieved with this scenario? What do you think that person should do?
I think number one, whether the Disability Act is enforced or not, the first thing you need to do is to speak out.
Mm,
The individual whose right has been violated must speak out. I mean, the National Human Rights Commission is there, go to them.
mm,
But the beginning is actually to complain to the HR department of your organization,
mm,
complain to the boss of your organization, and internally, sometimes they can solve the problem. They have disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee can actually sit and give you a good protection and judgment. But where you're not getting that, then look for organizations of persons with disability,
mm,
complain. Look for media houses. There are media houses that if you give them such complaint, they will take it to the airwave,
mm,
and that will embarrass the person who employed you. And I don't care whether it's government or private sector.
mm.
Nobody. It's a zero discrimination. Nobody should discriminate anybody at the workplace.
All right, I think we're having technical difficulties now with our phone lines, and we sincerely apologize. But just go to Facebook now. We are streaming live there, and of course, you can drop your comments and do that as fast as you can. Is at www.facebook.com /albino foundation, or you can send a message to 0703 110 3773 or 0701 977 3352. And we're talking about creating and enabling, and of course, an inclusive work for persons with disabilities. We're going to quick break now. When we come back, we'll be talking about the act that reserves 5% of employment opportunities now for persons with disabilities in all public organizations. This is still Disability Inclusion Committee live from the Network Service of Radio Nigeria. My name is Jennifer Ogo. Stay with us. How do we get? Do you think people are commenting on this?
Funny enough, let me see whether it will get me here. Yeah, okay. Okay. Um, um, we're also streaming on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We're streaming on all the social media handles.
Okay.
Twitch.
Okay.
And on my own personal page. I can talk about that.
Okay, I have some comments from our previous videos. I don't know if I can reach some of them out. Okay. All right, thanks for staying tuned. The program is still Disability Inclusion, coming to you live from the Network Service of Radio Nigeria. We actually have a few minutes to round off, but a few weeks ago, we actually talked about persons with disabilities now in the electoral process and, of course, political participation. And we had a few comments that we weren't able to read, but I'm going to read just two of them. And the first one is from Rose Emmanuel, and she said, voting out of pity. Okay, we asked the question, would you vote a person with disability out of pity or out of proficiency? Now, Mr. Jake and Rose Emmanuel said, proficiency, voting out of pity shows that I don't care about my constituency. Everyone is disabled now one way or another. I can only encourage and motivate a person with challenges to do better. Frank Igudia, all the way from Edo State, commented, and he's saying we must consider the meaning of an election. If it is a contest of the highest number of voters, so it must be allowed to be won. One must not consider otherwise. If it is by appointment, then incapacitation can be induced as a reason for mercy in the appointment. What can you say, based on this comment?
Well, whether no matter what challenges you have, there's always a place in the workplace. For somebody who can't, for instance, a person with albinism who can't stand the rigors of the sun and all that, there's an indoor desk where that individual can work. Somebody who is so the important thing is that any employer of labor should look at, and I do that in my organization, look at the capacities of the people you employ, know where they can do well, engage them in that area. It doesn't have to be anything physical. Well, if the person have challenges in carrying out the physical assignment, don't give that.
Do you think the public organizations now are doing this? The Act states that at least 5% of the employment opportunities should be given to persons with disabilities.
Let me give you a quick example. We went to NDE and we were engaging with the DG. And the DG, we were asking for 5%, And meanwhile, that law says not less than 5%. So it can actually be 20, 30, 40, as the case may be. And the DG said, no, I think you guys should ask for more. We can do 10%. Okay. So you find a situation where NDE is saying we can do 10%. Other organizations may want to do more than 5%. The benchline is 5%. It shouldn't be less than that.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jake, for coming through. We sincerely appreciate all you've said. And of course, that's it on this week's edition of Disability Inclusion, which came to you live from the network service of Radio Nigeria. For more information on the activities of the Albino Foundation, visit our website at www.albinofoundation.org. And of course, just know that you can visit our office as well at plot 990 Now Boulevard behind Fraser Suits by Grand Square. Business District, Abuja. Or you can call the office lines. They are 0817 157 6797. I take that again, 0817 157 or 0908 725 5908 0908 725 5908. And of course, so much appreciation goes to the engineers on duty and of course the studio manager. Just know that this program is powered by the European Union in collaboration with the Albino Foundation. Many thanks to the producer Victor Onoli. Until next week, my name is Jennifer Ogo. To have a splendid weekend. Bye for now.
I don't know.